So Colston Loveland yesterday said that he's just waiting for Alex Orji to take over, that he's seen that. What have you seen from Alex, and how much can he be that type of player once he kind of goes through the process?
Yeah, what I saw from Alex is, his first start was in a big game, huge game. Arguably one of the biggest wins we've had at home since 2021 against Ohio State. He was thrust in that opportunity. He was poised, he was composed. The stat line might not have showed everything he did, but he had command of the huddle, leadership, and we walked away from that game excited. Last week, he had some development in the pass game. There were some things we need to clean up, but he's taking leadership of the quarterback position, and when he's in the huddle, he has full command, and the players responded to that.
Chris?
Coach, Sharon said you guys weren't going to change concepts, but what can you do in terms of scheme to maybe help the passing game?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, number one goal is for us to win the football game. And, when you get in the games, they play out different ways. You get big leads in big games, and you want to get to the finish line with a W. Like, that's the ultimate goal. But to help out the pass game, one, we got to execute with more precision and detail across the board, making sure we put them in good position. But then when the plays are called, we got to go execute them as well. So there's a catch-22 there. Like, yeah, we have plays on the call sheet to be creative that everybody wants. But when you're not executing at a high level and moving the football, they're hard to get off the call sheet. So once you start rolling first downs, you're able to call those things. And not even having Samaj last week was a little bit detriment. That's one of our most explosive players, and trying to get him involved, as you saw early in USC, that's what we were trying to do. We got to help those guys, but when the plays are called, we got to execute as well.
And is Jack 100%, and how many reps is he getting, if any, in practice?
Yeah, so I'm not going to fully disclose on injuries, but Jack is progressing in a very, very good manner, and he's getting some reps here and there.
On the left, Ryan?
What are you stressing or emphasizing to Alex and really the whole offense heading into the first road game of the year in what should be a tough environment?
Yeah, the environment's, as I've been told, is as loud as any we've ever been into. So we got to make sure we practice a variety of different cadences. So we got to be prepared for the noise. So we're practicing that, making sure we can get off on the snap count, and then make sure we're composed. Right, like you're going to go in there. It's us versus them. In the environment, the noise is going to be great, and we're telling them we're going to take that environment and use that as our energy. So, hey, all that energy that they're going to produce on their side of the ball, we want to use it as ours, and playing fast and physical.
And that's typically been the case in previous years with this team, but is this group a little bit different because it is a lot of players playing bigger roles?
I personally, I don't get that vibe. No, I think this group is ready. They're chomping on the bit to get on the road. Playing at home in front of the fans, the best fans in the country, we're excited about, but we also embrace the opportunity to go out there as 74 strong as a unit and go play against the entire Washington faithful out there.
On the right, Ryan?
You guys said back in the spring you thought that this could be an explosive offense, but right now you guys are ranked 127th in pass plays of 20 yards or more and have the lowest ranked passing offense among Power 4 programs. Did you overestimate the talent?
No, I don't think so. I think when the plays are there, we got to make them, right? And then we got to put them in situations to make the plays too. That's a statement I still stand by. We got really talented players, but we got to make some more plays. We got to call some plays to get them in situations to go out there and make them.
And what are you trying to do? I guess maybe to get these guys open, maybe spring them open a little bit more. I mean, receiver separation seems to have been. Yeah.
So there's multiple things that we have done, and we need to continue to do. You get them in stacks and bunches and motions and all that stuff, and and then you got to win by confines of the routes, the top of the routes. We know we're going to get challenged in man coverage, and we got to learn to separate. We've made some critiques to practice so we can go out there and make sure we practice or play better on Saturdays. We got to continue to emphasize those points and make sure that we execute them come game day.
Austin?
Kirk, you mentioned Alex's first start being in a big game. Do you feel like in hindsight it was the right call to start with Davis? And do you wish you'd been able to get more snaps for Alex early in the year to help him work through some of these things?
Yeah, obviously, we made the decision that was best for the team every week. Like that, and whether we're not going to go back and second guess whether we made the right decision week one. It was the best decision at the time for the team. Alex continued to develop himself. And what was the second part of that question? Sorry.
Just, do you wish you'd been able to get more snaps?
Yeah. So just get him out there more. Yeah, obviously that was the plan, right? We were trying to get him out there, but we were never in full control of the game against Fresno State, and then Texas kind of, went south early, and then we were going to get him in Arkansas State, and we didn't finish the job, right? All those games we had the opportunity to step on the opponent's throat, and we didn't do that. So we need to make sure we start taking care of that, so we can help develop other guys in depth on the team. As such, would have been Alex in that situation.
On the left, Clayton.
You guys threw more on first down last week, I think 7 first down passes. How important is it for you guys to be a little more unpredictable there like you were last week compared to US?
Yeah, overall we called 26 passes last week, right? I think that's the most we might have had since Texas, right? And that forces us in a throwing game. That's kind of the honey hole we've always lived in around here. You go back and look at JJ's last 6 games. That's kind of how we thrive right in there. So it is important to get the drive started, drives going. And I just felt last week for us, they were giving us some advantageous man situations to get the ball to Colston, especially, right? Early in drives. So that's what we were trying to do there. But it helps, when you get first downs early in drives, it's easier to continue to move the drive. So, that's a conscious effort at us. That's more of the South Scout that we look at is like how we're calling the game, what we're doing with the game, not necessarily the yardage or all that. We care about wins and how we're calling the game and how teams may call them against us.
Tony?
Yeah, perhaps you're an answer ahead of my question. I was going to ask about sort of the boom-bust nature of these drives, right? 3 of them last week accumulated, I think, took them 18 minutes off the clock. But then the other, not counting anything kneel down and stuff, I think the other 8 were maybe 12 minutes or so. Just what is?
Yeah, so we stress getting the first down is the most important thing on a drive, right? Like you don't want to go 3 and out. When you do, it's detrimental to the defense, detrimental to the punt team. You're not playing complementary football. So we need to continue to be aggressive on first down, P and 10 especially, and then continue to get them to move the chains and go. Like in the second half last week, excluding the 4-minute drive, we had 4 drives, and 2 of them were 14 or 13 play drives. The other 2, one we were moving the football with a turnover, the other was a 3 and out. So need to continue to establish more rhythm on first down, and not get us in 3rd and long, right? Nobody thrives well in 3rd and long, so just continue to be more efficient on first down.
I guess why do you think? Obviously, good to be eliminating the turnover more or less out of the game in recent weeks. But why do you think it's been like long drives or short drives? Like I guess previously in the first 3 weeks it was kind of there were some just in the middle.
Yeah, so obviously against USC we had a couple of short drives. We had explosive run, right? It's hard to drive the field in college football 14, 15 plays. When you do, that's great. That's outstanding. But it's hard. Defense is going to make a play. They're going to make a call. They're going to make an adjustment. The explosiveness that we mentioned earlier in the pass game needs to show up so we get faster drives, right? Now, do we need to score in 1 minute, 2 minute like these air raid teams? No, that's not what we're asking for. But it's easier in 7, 8 play drives when you get explosive plays in the throw game. Just can't rely on the backbone of the run game to create those explosives. Obviously, that happened against USC. We're thankful for that, but it's not a reality that's sustainable through a course of a season.
Alejandro?
Would you like to see Alex more involved in the run game to make that 11 on 11? And how is the equation different versus a guy like JJ who's not as big, not as big?
Yeah, I think that's a catch-22. Alex really involved in the run game. You're taking the ball out of Kalel's hands a lot. But there's opportunities that perceived maybe that might not be to the public that he is reading an extra defender and now we're using them in conflict and Kalel's getting the run. So we are doing more of that than you'd probably think. But yeah, Alex is a huge part of it. Obviously USC picked up a bunch of 3rd downs, for us with his legs. Last week he did one in the pass game, a called pass and ran it. But he's important. He's got to be used in the run game. We tried to use it twice on 3rd down. Neither one netted any success. So it's not as simple as just saying you're going to run them, right? We got to go execute the call as well. Yeah, he's done a good job. He's got to do a better job.
Aaron?
Do you feel like there's enough time left in the season to get Alex to where you wanted to be in the passing game?
Yeah, obviously. At this time of the year, things got to happen faster, and we got to speed up the process and the urgency. He showed strides last week. Obviously, it was first and 19. I called the pass play for him. He progressed through, get to his last read. He has the capability to do it. He just needs to continue to do it at a constant basis. And we made adjustments in practice to help him get there.
What are those adjustments?
I don't know if Coach Moore would like me to say.
Charlie?
Kirk, it seems like Kalel has really taken that lead back role and run with it. But Sharon on Monday was talking about trying to get Donovan in there in unique packages and kind of confusing ways. Do you foresee kind of expanding his repertoire maybe in the passing game or in different ways to kind of confuse defenses with Donovan?
Yeah, obviously, you can go back and look at that. We did. He had the most snaps in 21 personnel, so I understand your question, but we did.
Austin?
It looks like from the outside that Jaden Davis isn't an option you've seriously looked at quarterback. Can you speak to the thought process with him right now? And could you see him being an option at any point this season?
Yeah, as far as an option this season, you don't know how the season's going to play out, but we constantly develop him every single day. He gets reps just like the other guys, and he's got to continue to develop. Nowadays with social media and everything, everyone wants this instant gratification of a freshman coming in and playing. I think Kevin O'Connell said it best, right? Organizations fail young quarterbacks, not young quarterbacks failing. You got to make sure he's developed properly and ready for the situation. He's going to have a bright future at University of Michigan, whether that's as fast as the outside perceived media or expectation is. That's not for us to make a rash decision based on that. We're going to put him in the situation when he's ready to go play.
Reiner?
With Colston, obviously, you kind of came into the season hoping to move him around a bunch. But obviously defenses are keying in on him. How has it become maybe more challenging to do that? Knowing that
he played 16 plays and had 4 catches. We move him all over the field. He's played field 1, field 2, field 3, boundary 1, boundary 2. He's motioned all the way around. So I don't advocate. We had him in the backfield at one point too.
Are you finding though it harder to?
He's got open all but 1 rep this year. So no.
Chris?
You're going to be playing in a noisy environment, obviously, and how critical is it for your linemen, especially to not get those dead ball penalties?
Yeah, that's a great point, Chris. Like that we're practicing on that. Coach Moore's cranking up the music at practice. Everybody coming off simultaneously. That's the hardest thing whenever you're doing, the different cadences, various cadences. Obviously, early in the game, it's going to be super, super loud. Hopefully, we can cancel that noise. And if we do, we can go to various different cadences. But it's important to come off the ball together. We practiced it a lot yesterday, in the past couple weeks. So we need to continue to thrive in that situation, because when you don't fire off together, it's kind of hard to execute the run game or even the pass game.
And how have you seen Evan improve from game 1 to now?
Yeah, so Evan has never flinched. Obviously, he had some issues early in the season. He's gotten better. Last week, he might have got beat once or twice in protection, but he played probably one of his better games. He's needed to continue to develop, and we need guys behind him to continue to push him and develop as well. So that's also another part of the situation. He's got to continue to get better, but we got to get guys behind him better to go out there, and because competition breeds success, and we need more competition at those positions.
Got time for a few more. We'll go with Aaron in the back.
Could you speak to how important Kalel's been to the offense so far?
Kalel's been a superstar. As far as in the building, on the football field, ever since I've been here, he's been asked to play linebacker, to come back over and play offense, to do special teams, whatever. That's the type of player you want in your building. Not only has he, quite frankly, he's bailed us out a bunch of times, right? And that's outstanding. We talk about the players that make plays when there's not one to be had. Those are the special ones, and he's done that numerous times. And that's what makes a special player and a special running back.
On the left, Isaiah.
You mentioned Alex being by the end of the game last week, being able to go through his progressions and get to that 4th guy. How easy, difficult, or whatever is it to just kind of try to coach that, to get a guy in live game to just kind of be able to learn to trust his progression?
So we talk about the best way to get better at football is play more football, right? The more you play, the better you get. So we practice a lot of football plays. There's things he was doing in practice that weren't showing up in games, and then we'd coach him through in the game, and he got through it there at the end. The reps are invaluable, right? The more reps you get, you're either going to get better or you stay the same, right? Like we got to make sure that we continue to progress. I thought he did throughout that week, and quite frankly, we're 1 throw in last game from being 31-3, and it's a much different situation. So the point of emphasis I made to him is every rep counts, right? You can't take one off, or you can't slightly make that mistake. Every rep counts, especially at this level. You're playing good teams, no matter who they are, in the Big Ten, and we just got to make sure we execute on every single snap. Now, you're going to make errant throws, but they can't just go to the other team. You got to make sure that they're where we can catch them or nobody can catch them.
Back left, Ryan.
It's been 5 games now. I guess what's been the general consensus feedback from recruits when they asked about this offense, and I guess what's your message to them as you guys move forward?
Yeah, the number one thing is, you hear from all the recruits is they love when we win. Like, we're winning. We won the big games. Ultimately, right now, the situation is we're 4-0. We're trying to go 1-0 every single week, or 4-1, excuse me. We're trying to go 1-0 every single week. There's no wavering there. We just got to continue to push forward and find ways to put the ball in the end zone. And like I said, I think somebody asked me, what's a successful offense come the end of the year? And that's scoring 1 more point than all your opponent every single game. So we've done that all but 1 game, and we got to make sure we continue to do that.
Last question on the left, Anthony.
Yeah, last couple of years, you guys have jumped out to early leads on the road, first drive of the game. What's the key to that Monday through Friday and setting that up?
Simulating the game atmosphere as much as you can, making sure you get ample reps of the plays that you're going to call early in the game. But nothing. The biggest thing is the noise that we have at practice, practicing the cadence that Chris brought up, making sure that we're all coming off the ball early, and having none of those pre-snap penalties. You can't get behind the sticks on the road. Then the crowd gets loud, and you're putting yourself in those third and long situations. That's tough. So making sure we're staying ahead of the sticks and make the plays when they're there. So we've done a great job of that in the past. Need to continue to do that. Obviously, it's been a team effort. You think about Nebraska, we get the turnover right away, we cash it into a touchdown. That's complementary football. We need to continue to do that.